I'm in the mountains of New Mexico and hoping to shoot the P-10S eventually at 200 yards. I went out Friday to try to shoot it at 100 yards, mainly to make a correction for the altitude and the temperature compared to my primary range, since the altitude here is about 6,000 feet. So I started with the P-10S at 100 yards and shot five shots, and they were all a little higher than I expected. And wasn't quite sure what was going on, but I switched to the P-10F magazine, which gives me usually a little better balance with my wrists on the wrist rest, and shot another group that was still had a little bit too much vertical spread if you include the shots that are up high. And again, this wasn't very good. So went ahead and dialed down 8 clicks and fired off 5 more shots with the P-10S. And this time I got the elevation right, but the group was still way too big, and at this time it was still pretty calm at the shooting range. So I went and got the P-10F out and got it, and thought, well, maybe it's me, because I was having some eyesight problems, and due to allergies. And we've also had some fires in this area up here, but they're downwind of us. But finally got a good group with the P-10F, although again it was way higher than I expected it to be. So I continued on, and of course I wasn't checking between shots, but you can see these 2 rounds were real low, and then the 3 that were on the paper were still a little low and a little right. So I went back up a few clicks, 2 clicks I think, tried it again. This time the wind is starting to pick up a little bit from the left, but this time I don't really think it was a problem, and I think the last shot was off to the right, but I went ahead and put in 2 clicks left to counteract the wind some, and gave it another try with the P-10F. And since I hadn't shot this gun or any of the plastic guns in 2 months, it was good to just get in some trigger time, but it was bothering me that I couldn't get a good group with what is usually the best gun I've got. So this one in the P-09. So I continued on and continued to shoot a little low after making a pretty drastic change on the sight, and the groups were a little better than with the P-10S, but there was still a lot of vertical spread, and that continued to haunt me. And then the wind picking up made the vertical spread not the only problem. I also had some problems with the horizontal spread, and basically I just wasn't shooting very well. And compared to what I expected to shoot 6-inch groups with both guns like I usually do. So again, I'm still shooting low and off to the right and then high, and it's just not looking good, and I don't understand why. And it was really bugging me. Finally, I figured out one change I'd made is I had substituted a rear bag from the rifle for the hard surface with a soft drag on top, and that was really affecting my recoil control, and that was contributing to the vertical stringing. And I think this is it. I will go back to my old wrist rest setup and try it again before shooting 200.